can see it in your eyes. To me, it's no surprise that I'm the one. La da la di da da la di da 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 da. Oh. Oh, I just realized my camera is not cameraing. Hello, camera. Can you, camera, please? Girlfriend, I didn't say OBS, I said USB. Thank you. Your doll. Perfect. Alright, 3, 2. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to another episode of Quran in English. My name is Ahmed, and I'm happy to take you through a new chapter, Surat Az-Zumar, which is chapter 39 of the Quran. And I'm now scrolling to the top. Surat Az-Zumar means the chapter of the troops. So Surat Az-Zumar, chapter 39. This is, What are we doing? What am I doing here? I'm reading the Quran from start till finish to see what I can learn and what I can understand. So this is an educational journey for me, and I am sharing it with you in the hopes that you might learn something, but also in the hopes that I might learn something from you if you have a different perspective. The point of this is education and learning. So if you don't like mistakes, this is not the channel for you, but if you're happy with the educational process, then stick around and find out. Alright, that's all I want to say. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, and off we go. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تنزيل الكتاب من الله العزيز الحكيم. It has been sent down. The book has been sent down. It revealed is what we understand, but it literally, the verb is about brought down to us. So the book, now what is the book is talking about? There's various references to the book within the Quran. The Quran is the book, but so is the Torah, so is the Injil, so is the Zabur, which the Zabur is like David's Psalms, sort of. The Injil, some people say it's the Gospels. I don't think it's the Gospels. But it's what Jesus brought down, essentially. What the Gospels should be, which is about Jesus' teachings more than anything else. But so, usually in the Quran, when there's chapters that talk about the book, there's always a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letter intro, and then it talks about the book. This time it talks about the book without saying that. So usually you have like Alif Lam Mim, like just 3 letters, we don't know what they mean, and then it starts talking about the book. This time it jumps straight into the book without those letters. So I'm curious what that difference is. The book has been revealed, has been brought down from God, the Almighty and All-Wise. إنا أنزلنا إليك الكتاب بالحق فاعبد الله. إنا أنزلنا إليك الكتاب بالحق فاعبد الله مخلصا له الدين. My tongue is still getting used to saying it. We have sent down, we have revealed to you the book in truth. So worship God. مخلصا له الدين. Sincerely devoted to him, like exclusively devoted to him. Exclusively turned to him in religion. It sincerely is one word, but like I get the feeling of like exclusivity, like it's only for God, only for him in religion do you worship. But sincerely works in this context. And you'll see this a lot as I do these videos. I sometimes have a different perspective on what the feeling of the word is. But I also could be wrong because my Arabic is not that good. ألا لله الدين الخالص والذين اتخذوا من دونه أولياء ما نعبدهم إلا ليقربونا إلى الله زلفى إن الله يحكم بينهم فيما هم فيه يختلفون إن الله لا يهدي من هو كاذب كفار. Okay, lots is being said. Only to God are those is the religion that is pure. Ala lillahi. Is it not unquestionably for God? Is it for the pure? It could also be a question, like, is it only for God? But it's because it's said in such a way. Oh, yeah, you kind of understand it. Unquestionably is the logical understanding. For God is the religion that is pure. I'm going to. I don't know if that word means pure. Swap it around. The pure ones. It is pure. Khalas means pure. Really? Is there another word for it? I mean, why do I feel like it means something else? Maybe I'm just thinking of it means that completed, rather. Whoa. Oh, this is not the right one. Yeah. Yeah, sincere devotion is only to God, is due only to God. It's only for God, the religion of that is pure. And those who take from besides God as protectors, allies, governance, worshipping whatever spirits, entities, those who take beside from God protectors, we do not worship them, except so that they may bring us near to God. In nearness, which is a very interesting, because the expression is we worship them only so that they may bring us closer to God, and the way that they've explained it in the English translation below is that this is quoting, as if we are quoting that they're telling us that we're worshiping your gods only because it brings us closer to God, and I feel like it's missing the point, because I think it's just one sentence, right? Those who take from besides God protectors, we do not worship them, except to bring so that they may bring us closer to God, in nearness. I'll explain it in a second, but let me just finish the phrase. Indeed, in Allah, in fact, God will judge between them in what they used to differ. And indeed, God does not guide the one who is a liar and a disbeliever. Yeah. The way that I understood it first was that some form of... Yeah, but the word is worship, right? We do not worship them except so that they may bring us nearer towards God in nearness. They bring us towards God in nearness. Like, the way that I understood this was maybe as a result of confusion, maybe as a result of believing in God and somehow working through it. But why worship them? That's why I kind of understand their quotations. The quotations, because this doesn't make sense. Why would you worship things other than God to get closer to God? You know? But I feel like there's a context that I'm not understanding, and I think it's possible. And the thing that comes to mind is, like, I'm going to say something controversial, of course. Jinn, working with jinn. It is the general consensus among the Muslim community that working with jinn is akin to associating partners with God. But we also have examples of King Sulaiman, who had worked with jinn, and he was a devout believer. So there are exceptions given to us in the book about working with jinn and being closer with God. So if we use the concept of working with jinn but trying to get closer to God, that makes sense. But the exact verb here is that we worship them. We do not worship them except so that they may bring us closer towards God. And then another concept comes to mind is, what if you are deceiving those entities and claiming worship to them, as in doing the act of worship to them with the goal of getting closer to God, and like the concept of a double agent comes to mind. Like, you're feigning worship to them so that you can still be working towards God. That is another context that comes to mind. And then the verse ends, and God does not guide the one who is a liar and a disbeliever. So it's like, just to be clear, you have to be very precise with your intention, and you have to be honest if you are going to get to God through other means, I suppose. But again, this is all in my head of how I understand it, whether or not this is accurate or not. Because here they just simply translate it to, oh, we're quoting that we worship them only so that they may bring us closer to God, which also doesn't make sense. Why would it be a quote? How does that make sense if we're saying it to other people? Those who are devoted to God alone and those who are associate other gods with him. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so it's just a very interesting. We do not worship them except to bring us closer to God. Yeah. Very interesting. لو أراد الله أن يتخذ ولدا لاصطفى مما يخلق من يشاء سبحانه هو الله الواحد القهار. Another statement that confuses me. If God intended to take a son, then he would have chosen from whatever he creates and whatever he wills. He could have chosen whatever he willed and whatever he creates. Glory be to him. He is God, the one, the irresistible. Which, is the argument that God didn't choose Jesus because he could have chosen anything? Why would you say if he could choose a child, he would choose whatever he wishes? Or is it just talking about God's choice? Like God can choose whoever he wishes if God wants a son. I don't get this. But it goes back to saying he is the one and the irresistible, the supreme. Yeah. Yeah. I don't fully get it. And maybe I don't have to choose context. Just take it at face value. If he wanted to choose a child, a son, specifically. Yeah, no, walad can be a son or a daughter. It could be a child. Awlad can mean children. It can also mean boys, but it can also mean children. That's usually the thing with the Arabic language. The male pronouns can refer to men or women. And you see this a lot in music, but you also see this a lot. Anyway, a little bit confused, but he could have chosen whoever he wills. I don't understand that. خلق السماوات والأرض بالحق يكور الليل على النهار ويكور النهار على الليل وسخر الشمس والقمر كل يجري لأجل مسمى ألا هو العزيز الغفار. He created the heavens and the earth in truth, and he wraps the night around the day, and he wraps the day around the night, and he subjected the sun and the moon, each running for a term that is specified. Unquestionably, he is the Almighty and oft forgiving. Now, we have seen this variation of this a million times. All elements of this we've seen a million times. We've seen him created the heavens and the earth for a purpose, in truth, in justice. The day around the night around the day. We've seen variations of it. The sun and the moon subjected, orbiting for a appointed time, and he is the Almighty and oft forgiving. Nothing new is being said, but what is new, right? The understanding the context of the Quran is very different than understanding a book that is chronological, that is just trying to update you with new concepts and new topics. It's also written in a way with a lot of repetition. We're going to talk about the repetition a little bit later in the verses today. But yeah, God created everything, and this is a wonder for many people. خلقكم من نفس واحدة ثم جعل منها زوجها وأنزل لكم من الأنعام 8 أزواج يخلقكم في بطون أمهاتكم خلقا من بعد خلق في ظلمات 3 ذلكم الله ربكم له الملك لا إله إلا هو فأنا تصرفون. He created you all from a single soul, Adam, and then he made from it its mate, Eve. And he sent down for you from cattle 8 kinds. Now, if you look at the 8 kinds, it'll say 4 pairs, males and females, as suggested in 6.143. So I've pulled up 143 for you. He has created 4 pairs: a pair of sheep, a pair of goats, اثنين من المعزة, goats, and اثنين الضأن اثنين ومن المعزة اثنين, 2 sheep and 2 goats, and from camels 2 and from cows 2. So the 4 pairs, hang on a second, it doesn't say 4 pairs, it says 8 pairs. 8 pairs. So here they translate it to 4 pairs, but the number is 8 pairs. And the understanding is that there are 8 variations, 4 female and 4 male, right? But those variations are all pairs. For each female, there's a male. For each female, there's a male. So there are 8 individual animals that pair up with another animal. But there are 4 pairs. So it's a bit... Anyway. So what are we talking about? Sheep, goats, camels, cows. Which obviously there's a lot more animals in the world. And there's fish and there's stuff like that. But he's talking about the cattle specifically. Would you say there are other cattle other than camel, sheep, cows, goats? I'm kind of curious. Other type, what are the types of camel? The types of cattle. I mean, I just see a bunch of cow. Not breed. List of cattle breeds. No. What are the type of cattle animals? Animal groupings? I don't know. I'm trying to find like calf, sheep. Yeah, cows, heifers, bulls, steer. No, they all seem to be talking about cows and variations of cows. Cattle can be cow, sheep, what do we say? Goat, camel. Cattle, sheep, goat, camel. While all of these animals fall under the broad agricultural umbrella of livestock, they also belong. Cattle can be cow, sheep. Are there any others? This is like children. Yes, there are many other species in these families. While cows, sheep, goats, and camels are the most famous, the broader group includes significantly livestock. I mean, buffalo is cow. Camels. It's not showing me more. I'm also thinking like pigs as cattle, but obviously pigs are not considered clean animals, so they're not considered good. But would ducks be considered cattle? I don't think so. No, they're farm animals. Ducks are not cattle, right? I don't know why I'm going down this road. Our semi-aquatic pro is poultry, while cattle are larger terrestrial hooved mammals, bovines. Interesting. Are horses considered camels? I don't think they are, but I just... you can also see how chaotic my brain... Are horses considered cattle? No, horses are not considered cattle. Yeah, okay. I think it's pretty accurate. Why do we go into this much of an explanation? I have no idea. I was trying to see if the Quran does cover all the examples that are relevant, because it felt like there's so many more animals than the cattle mentioned, the 8 pairs. Yeah. And then it says, he creates you in the stomachs, the wombs of your mothers, as a creation from after a creation in 3 darknesses. Now here they've added 3 layers of darknesses, which are like belly, the womb, and the amniotic sac. And I think it's more metaphorical than literal. خلقا من بعد خلق في ظلمات 3. A creation after a creation, a creation after a creation in 3 darknesses. I have a feeling this ties to somehow Adam and Eve, but like, I also feel like darknesses feels like maybe layers of enlightenment. I don't know. The cover of reality, the cover of... I feel like there's something philosophical about this. Philosophical for us, but literal in the world. Like 3 darknesses. I don't think that it's like the uterus. I don't like this explanation. The belly, the womb, and the amniotic sac. I don't think that makes sense. It could be, but I don't think so. Because then why stop there? You have the skin, you have the meat, you have the bone. Like, I don't know. I just feel like the 3 layers of darkness are tied to enlightenment and on your journey back to God, which I think this is what this life is about. Yeah. إن تكفروا فإن الله غني عنكم ولا يرضى لعباده الكفر وإن تشكروا يرضه لكم ولا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى ثم إلى ربكم مرجعكم فينبئكم بما كنتم تعملون إنه عليم بذات الصدور. If you disbelieve, then indeed God is rich, free of need from you. God don't need you. If you disbelieve, by all means, go. He's not counting you as a loss. Oh. And he does not like for his... and he does not approve is more correct than like for his slaves' disbelief. Ungratefulness, but disbelief. He does not approve, nor does he approve disbelief from his servants. Which is also like a very interesting... There's a lot of verses today that are very pointed, which I find a little bit difficult to digest. And if you are grateful, he approves it. He appreciates it from you. And no bearer of burdens will bear the burden of another burden. It feels like a tongue twister. No one will carry the load of somebody else. No soul will be burdened with sin from another soul. No soul will carry that which another soul has to carry. And then to your Lord is your return. So he will inform you about what you used to do. Indeed, he is all-knowing of what is inside the breasts. He is all-knowing what you conceal and what you keep true. Now, technically, I could have stopped here, but I thought stopping after 7 verses feels like not a full episode, so I'm going to continue until verse 31, as you saw from the title of this video. Surprise! وَإِذَا مَسَّ الْإِنسَانَ ضُرٌّ دَعَا رَبَّهُ منيبا إليه ثم إذا خوله نعمة منه نسي ما كان يدعو إليه من قبل وجعل لله أندادا ليضل عن سبيله قل تمتع بكفرك قليلا إنك من أصحاب النار. Yeah, and if adversity touches man, then he calls to his God, turning towards him, and then if he bestows upon him his blessing, so if he gets adversity, then he turns to God, praying to him. But then if he gets favor, if things start looking good towards him, towards the person, he forgets what he used to call to him from before, and he sets up for God rivals or things that are equally important to mislead from his path. It's always about the path. Do you go with the path to God or do you not? and say, enjoy your disbelief, for little indeed you are from the companions of fire. And the thing that comes into my mind is that we're all on a path. We're either on a path towards God or away from God. And I've had many friends who just refuse to go on the path towards God, and that's kind of the way it's supposed to be, unfortunately. So the thing that flashed through my head was that, yeah, I'm going to let you walk that path, and then you will see. You are from the companions of fire. Yeah, I will just focus on those that believe rather than those that don't believe. Yeah, it feels kind of snarky. Enjoy your disbelief a little. You are going to the fire of hell. I completely understand why people have a problem with religion, because it feels like, fine, you can do that, but you're going to hell. Like, it's just very hard for a human to say it. And obviously we believe in the words of the Quran, but if those that don't believe in the word of the Quran, you tell them a book said it, they'll be like, well, okay, so many books say so many things that I don't really care or believe in. It's just, yeah, interesting. أمن هو قانت أناء الليل ساجدا وقائما يحذر الآخرة ويرجو رحمة ربه قل هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون إنما يتذكر أولو الألباب. Is the one who is devoutly obedient during the hours of the night, prostrating and standing and fearing the hereafter and hoping for the mercy of his Lord. Say, is he equal to those? Say, is it equal to those who know as to those who do not know? Do those who know and those who don't know, are they equal? Which is an interesting philosophical question, because yes. I want to say yes because everybody is equal, or everybody's not equal. Everybody's opportunity for good and evil is equal, maybe? I don't know. That doesn't even make sense. But the idea is saying that the one who worships all night long, is he the same as, are the ones that know the same as the ones that don't know? In some ways, no. In some ways, yes, because it's knowledge, right? It's not the same as behavior, but it does dictate. But it's just the knowledge itself does not equate to a different person, does it? I don't know. My brain's not braining today. Indeed, only the people of reasoning will take heed, will be mindful. And there's always the argument of like those who like spend so much time worshiping and like, you know, focusing on God and letting life go. A lot of people are like, well, you're kind of wasting your life. But then if the truth is that it's all about God, then those who spent their whole life worshiping God rather than living life, were doing the right thing. And the difference is who knows the right answer. Because two people have two opposite knowledge. One that there is no God in hereafter, one that there is a God in hereafter. One of them is correct. So the person with the correct information is living life accordingly and correct. It's just very interestingly phrased. The ones who know and the ones who don't know. قل يا عبادي الذين آمنوا اتقوا ربكم للذين أحسنوا في هذه الدنيا حسنة وأرض الله واسعة إنما يوفى الصابرون أجرهم بغير حساب. Say, my slaves, those who believe, fear your Lord. For those who do good in this world is good. Those of you who do good in this world will have a good reward. Oh, الذين أحسنوا في هذه الدنيا حسنة? No. Those who do good in this world are good. Not those who do good in this world will have a good reward. I understand why they say will have a good reward, because it continues by saying the earth is of God is spacious. So the understanding is, and it says, indeed, they will be paid back in full for their reward without an account. So this part makes sense. They'll be paid for their good without an account, and God's earth is wide. But this specific part, those that do good in this world, لِلَّذِينَ, for those who do good in this world is good. Okay. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm not focused. We power through. Anyway, to my servants believe, be mindful of your Lord, and those who do good in this world will have a good reward. God's earth is spacious. Only those who endure patiently will be given their reward without limit. Yeah, the earth is spacious. It's an understanding that those who do good will get good rewards in this earth. But that's not always the case. Is it? Because some people struggle and some people suffer. Well, that's not to say that you get good things that you don't struggle and suffer. You will get good things in a variety of formats and ways. And you will suffer. Everybody will suffer. It's impossible to have somebody who does not suffer because death is real. You either care about your own death or other people's death or your own health or other people's health. And bad shit happens all the time. So bad shit does not deny that good things will happen. So maybe focus on the good. Yeah. My brain is not braining today. I'm sorry. قل إني أمرت أن أعبد الله مخلصا له الدين. Say, I have been commanded to worship God, being sincere to Him in religion, being sincerely devoted to Him. Yeah, I'm not going to argue. وأمرت لأن أكون أول المسلمين. And I've been commanded to be one of the first of those who submit. Now, see, we use the word Muslim, but it doesn't mean the people who follow the Quran and the Prophet Muhammad. It means those who submit to God. Having an identity as a Muslim, for me, is ridiculous. Having an identity as a Muslim or a Christian or a Jew. No. You either worship and believe in God or you don't. Those are the two categories. You can worship God through submission. You can worship God through glory and praises. There's anyway, I'm not going to get into it too much because my brain's not braining. قل إني أخاف إن عصيت ربي عذاب يوم عظيم. Say, indeed, I am afraid if I disobey my Lord, a punishment of a day that's great. Fear doesn't motivate me, so I kind of struggle to resonate with this. But this is what's being said to the Prophet or Messenger. قُلِ اللَّهَ أَعْبُدُ مُخْلِصًا لَهُ دِينِي. Say, I worship God, being sincere to Him in my religion. How is that different from what is being said? I have been commanded that I worship God and I'm sincere to Him alone. And I've been commanded that I be the first of those to submit. And I'm afraid that if I disobey Him, I will be a suffering. Say, this confused me. Say, God, I worship, sincerely being to Him. So I think the first one is what the Prophet was being told, or the Messenger was being told. I am commanded. No, but isn't this what they're saying to the Prophet, the Messenger? Say, I'm commanded to worship God alone, and I'm commanded to be the first to submit. And if I were to disobey my Lord, a tremendous day. Say it is only God that I worship, and being sincere in my devotion to Him. When was this revealed, by the way, out of curiosity? Control file 39. In the middle. Oh, no, that's the 39th verse. Az-Zumar is also in the middle. I don't know. It's in the middle of the Quran. It's in the middle of the revelation order. So I don't get it. But say, only to God I worship, being sincere in my devotion to Him. قل قل الله أعبد مخلصا له الدين. Say God. Why the grammar is confusing me? Because here it makes sense. Say that I have been commanded to worship God sincerely to Him, and I've been commanded to be the first, and I am afraid that if I disobey Him, it will be a suffering. Then it says, say God I worship, sincere for Him in my religion, which is the same thing but in a different grammatical sense. So maybe it's just using a repetition to kind of deliver the point. Say God is exclusive for Him my religion. فاعبدوا ما شئتم من دونه قل إن الخاسرين الذين خسروا أنفسهم وأهليهم يوم القيامة ألا ذلك هو الخسران المبين. So worship what you wish from besides Him. Say, indeed, the losers are those who lose themselves and their families on the day of resurrection. Unquestionably, that is the loss that is clear. So it says, say, God, if it said only, then I would kind of make sense. Say, God I worship, being sincere in my devotion to Him. Worship whatever gods you want instead of Him. Say, the true losers are those who lose themselves and families on Judgment Day. That is indeed the clearest loss. لهم من فوقهم ظلل من النار ومن تحتهم ظلل ذلك يخوف الله به عباده يا عبادي فاتقون. Say, from above them is coverings of fire, and from underneath them coverings. Doesn't actually say fire, but it says above them covering up from fire, and from below them coverings. Could be something else. With that, God scares, threatens His servants, His slaves. Oh, my slaves, so fear me. I don't like the fear ones. Maybe some people resonate with this message. But that's kind of the point. If you have one book applying to so many people, a lot of the parts of the book are not going to be applying to you, I suppose. You know? وَالَّذِينَ اجْتَنَبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ أَنْ يَعْبُدُوهَا وَالَّذِينَ اجْتَنَبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ أَنْ يَعْبُدُوهَا وَأَنَابُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ لَهُمُ الْبُشْرَى فَبَشِّرْ عِبَادِي. And those who avoid the false gods, and while they worship her. Or worship them. But why is it the female? يعبدوها والذين اجتنبوا الطاغوت أن يعبدوها. Anyway, those who avoid worshipping the false gods and they turn towards God, for them is good tidings. So give good tidings to my servants, to my slaves. الذين يستمعون القول الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه أولئك الذين هداهم الله وأولئك هم أولو الألباب. They're the ones who listen to the word and they follow the best of, and there's the ones who God has guided them. Those are the people who are the people of understanding. Why am I struggling with these verses? Verse applies to anything that a person listens to. Can also apply specifically to the Quran, meaning, for example, those who read verses about retaliation and others verses about forgiveness, then they opt for forgiveness. Yeah, that's fair. The ones who listen to the word and then they follow the best of. Okay, so they explained it, but if you listen to the Quran and follow the best of, you follow the parts of it that are relevant to you, the parts of it. There are parts that are about retaliation, there's the parts about forgiveness, and you choose the forgiveness. But it can also apply to anything that we hear. You take the good and leave the bad, you know? They're the ones that God has guided. And those are the ones who are the people of understanding and reasoning. Yeah, I think the one thing that I've generally learned is there is no blueprint for how to be a good person beyond like these are the big boundary conditions, and then the rest of how you live your life and how you do it is actually quite open. So you have to use your reason. You can't say, oh, this is right or this is wrong because this person said that or because this person said that. You have to be you have to use your reason. If you don't use your reason, then you're just no better than the sheep. أفمن حق عليه كلمة العذاب أفأنت تنقذ من في النار. Then it is the one who became due, or it has fulfilled upon him the word of punishment, then will you be able to save them from the fire? Feels like a rhetorical question, because they cannot, I don't think. But it's also possible that he has the forgiveness. I don't know. Some exceptions to forgiveness are given. I thought the Prophet had one of them, but I'm not sure. لكن الذين اتقوا ربهم لهم غرف من فوقها غرف مبنية تجري من تحتها الأنهار وعد الله لا يخلف الله الميعاد. And those who are mindful of their Lord, for them are lofty mansions, from above them lofty mansions built high. Those mindful of the Lord will have elevated mansions built one above the other. Lofty mansions, above them lofty mansions built that are built that flow from underneath it rivers. And the promise of God does not fail his promises. Which, honestly, I kind of like this idea of like apartment buildings in heaven. A house over a house, and then rivers below it. I don't know, it kind of sounds... yeah, what paradise should be like. You know? ألم ترى أن الله أنزل من السماء ماء فسلكه ينابيع في الأرض ثم يخرج به زرعا مختلفا ألوانه ثم يهيج فتراه مصفرا ثم يجعله حطاما إن في ذلك لذكرى لأولي الألباب. Did you not see that God has sent? Did you not see that God has sent down? It's the same word, tanzil, which we talked about before. So now it's sent down. They talked about a reveal before, but it just literally means sent. Sends down from the sky water. So he makes it flow, and he springs from the earth, and then he produces from it crops that are different of colors, and then they wither, and you see them all turn yellow, and then he makes them debris. And it's showcasing what is happening outside. Sure. Oh, there's beeping and broken. So essentially, rain, plants, all kinds of colors, all kinds of pounds, but they all become yellow when they wither and die, and they become debris. Indeed, in that is surely a reminder for those who have reason. It's the circle of life. أفمن شرح الله صدره للإسلام فهو على نور من ربه فويل للقاسية قلوبهم من ذكر الله أولئك في ضلال مبين. Now here they are using Islam as if it's the religion of Islam, and neither translation uses the word of submission, because that's what Islam means. But anyway, is the one who God has expanded his breasts for submission. Is he? So he has nur. He has light from his God, from his Lord. The one whose heart has been opened for submission has guidance and light from his Lord. And woe be to the hardened of hearts, from the ones whose hearts are hardened from the remembrance and the mention of God. They are in a error that is very clear. They're clearly led astray. I like that expression of light being to those whose hearts are open to submission. There's something beautiful about that. I kind of like the image that I have is of like a puppy. When you have a puppy, one of the first things you have to do is flip the puppy on its back so that it will struggle, but then once it like succeeds and submits and trusts you as its owner, it will have a better life. Because if a dog focuses on you as the alpha, as the protector, the feeder, and listens to what you say, and you actually do protect and you do feed and you do take care of, the dog's life is going to be a better life. But if the dog is stubborn and I'm going to do whatever I want and you can't control it, and then it like can run off into the street, can run away, there's so many things that can happen that will cause it to be harmful. In that same sense, our relationship to God is determined by our ability to submit to Him. That is why Islam means submission. How easy it is for your heart to be on its back, be prone, and just say, in your hands I trust. And being able to trust shows you the light, and having a hardened heart keeps you in darkness, which is a very sad life, unfortunately. Allahu nazzala ahsan al-hadith kitaban mutashabihan mathaniya taqsha'iru minhu juludu alladhina yakhshawna rabbahum thumma تلين جلودهم وقلوبهم إلى ذكر الله ذلك هدى الله يهدي به من يشاء ومن يضلل الله فما له من هاد. My tongue is doing gymnastics to try and read this. Astaghfirullah. It's not easy. I don't know. Maybe it's easier for some people. God revealed, Nazzal, God brought down the best of the statements from the book. Allahu nazzala ahsan al-hadith kitaban. God has revealed the best of statements in a book. The best of statements in a book. Parts repeating itself, parts a book of perfect consistency not mentioned. Ahsan al-hadith, the best of statements in a book. The best message, the best of messages in a book that has parts resembling each other's, in often repeated, which cause to shiver from it the skins of those who fear, or who are mindful, who are humble of their God, and then relaxes their skins. So when they hear it, it causes them to shiver, and then it relaxes their skins and it relaxes their hearts to the remembrance of God. When they finally remember God, they feel relaxation and they calm down. That is a guidance from God. He guides with it whom He wills. And whoever God has let go astray, then for him there is no guide. Now, a couple things. I don't think I've ever had the moment where the words cause me to have goosebumps and freak out. I've been reading the Quran for quite some time, and some parts feel beautiful, but not goosebumps and fear, not an emotional reaction to this level, I don't think. So that's it's kind of sad for me that I don't have that. And God guides whomever He guides with it, which we have brought in this verse so many times. And the disbelievers always say that if God is the one who guides and I'm not guided, therefore God has not guided me. And the counter argument has been like, no, God guides who He wills. The person has to will in order for them to get guided. However, here we're very clear. And for whoever God lets go astray, then he will not have any guide. Now this is very clearly, it's not the person who wills to be guided. the only person that can let to go astray is God. God cannot, man cannot let God go astray. And so there's no context of like, وَمَنْ يُضْلِلِ اللَّهِ. What if they say, and what if, I don't know. I should actually, because I sent that message to my mother. Yeah. The counter argument is that God's leading a servant astray due to the servant's own turning away, his disbelief, his rejection of God, and his preference for misguidance over guidance. How does that make sense in وَمَنْ يُضْلِلِ اللَّهِ? And whoever lets God go astray, they don't. I don't see it. I've never seen it. I always 100% believe it is God's choice and it is God's control. Yes, we also have a choice. And from our perspective, we always have to choose. But do we also always have a choice? I don't feel like people have a choice. I think you either believe or you don't. I'm a firm believer of that. I don't feel like I chose belief. I don't believe like I chose disbelief. And I don't feel like I chose belief at the end. I just do. I don't think it was a choice that I went, you know what, I'm going to start believing now. It just happened. I do agree with the disbelievers. You either believe or you don't. I just do believe, and I believe that y'all going to hell. Anyway, controversial topic that we'll go over and over again. أفمن يتقي بوجهه سوء العذاب يوم القيامة وقيل للظالمين ذوقوا ما كنتم تكسبون. Is the one who يتقي بوجهه, those who will have their bare faces to shield them. Isn't this من taqwa? To be mindful? Huh? I really should stop. My brain is not understanding this. Is the one who will sheet his face the worst of the punishment on the day of resurrection, and it will be said to the wrongdoers, taste from what you used to earn. It's just 7 more verses. Listen, some days are good days, some days are not so good days. This is one of those not so good days. فَمَنْ يَتَّقِي بِوَجْهِهِ. This, are you telling me this means he who protects himself with his face, like one who is not? They're continuing the verse. It feels Chinese to me. I don't know what's happening. I don't have an understanding. I can't understand the English translation. I can't understand. How do we get, is he who protects himself with his face? فَمَنْ يَتَّقِي بِوَجْهِهِ. Oh, بِوَجْهِهِ. Okay. أَفَمَنْ يَتَّقِي بِوَجْهِهِ. Whoever protects himself or is mindful by his face. بِوَجْهِهِ سُوءَ الْعَذَابِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Ones who have their face to shield themselves from the awful torment. Brain is not braining. Is he who will shield himself with his face from the evil of punishment on the day of resurrection. Like one who is not. Where do you get like one who is not from? How did you translate that? I don't know what's going on. Oh, my brain. It's also been 53 minutes. I don't know. And it was said to the disbelievers, taste what you used to disbelieve. Reap what you sow. Taste what you have earned. You get what you deserve. I actually said that to my sister on her, I don't want to say it just in case she watches this, but she doesn't watch this, but I'll mention it after the fact, but not before the fact. كذب الذين من قبلهم فآتاهم العذاب من حيث لا يشعرون. The ones from before them denied, so came upon them the punishment from where they did not perceive. For those who were also those before them just rejected the truth, and the punishment came from where they least expected it. فأذاقهم الله الخزي في الحياة الدنيا ولعذاب الآخرة أكبر لو كانوا يعلمون. So God made them taste the disgrace in the worldly life, and He made them, and the punishment for them in the hereafter is even greater if they had only known. وَلَقَدْ ضَرَبْنَا لِلنَّاسِ فِي هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ مِنْ كُلِّ مَثَلٍ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَذَكَّرُونَ. And verily we have set forth for the people in this Qur'an from every example so that they may take heed, which I struggle with this word of every example, because there are many examples of many different situations, of many different types of things that are not written in the Qur'an. Many types of dilemmas and moral confusions, and I feel like, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I haven't read the full Quran, so I can't say this, but this doesn't feel right. Every kind of lesson? I don't know. I don't see it. قرآنا عربيا غير ذي عوج لعلهم يتقون. A Quran that is Arabic without any crookedness, so that they may become righteous. Yeah. ضرب الله مثلا رجلا فيه شركاء متشاكسون ورجلا سلما لرجل هل يستويان مثلا الحمد لله بل أكثرهم لا يعلمون. This is a weird example. God sets forth the example of a man. About him are many partners that are quarreling, and a man that belongs exclusively for one man. And I think this is talking about partners, but somehow they've talked about slaves. A man who has many partners versus a man who has one partner. I think that makes more sense. Are they both equal in comparison? Praise be to God. Nay, but most of them do not know. In fact, most of them do not know. Now here they say a slave owned by multiple quarrelsome masters will also be confused because the masters all give them conflicting orders. I kind of understand the expression they're trying to say, but I also understand it from a partner perspective. If you have multiple partners in a business, it becomes a lot more difficult to do business anyway. And if you have one partner, then it becomes a lot easier. It also works in the context of a slave and an owner and a master. إِنَّكَ مَيِّتٌ وَإِنَّهُمْ مَيِّتُونَ. Indeed, you are dead, and indeed they are also dead. Now, they've added the word certainly, because they're like, oh, when this came out, the Prophet was not dead. Therefore, it's not talking about him being dead. However, now for us, it makes sense. It is safe to understand it the way that they understand it. You will certainly die, and they will certainly die too. Makes sense. However, you are dead, and they are also dead. Also kind of makes sense if you have the concept of what is this life that we are living. A lot of the times the Quran talks about the world being an illusion, the world being not real. And it kind of feels like we're dead, and somehow getting into heaven will be right. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too philosophical. We can just keep it at the simplest. You will certainly die, and they will all die. ثم إنكم يوم القيامة عند ربكم تختصمون. Then on the day of resurrection, you will be before your Lord, arguing over what you said. Okay, sorry that it wasn't the greatest episode today, but I'm trying. Sleep was a nightmare. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Sadaqallah al-Ali al-Azim. An hour episode. We haven't done that in a long time. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next week. Ma salami. Bye.